Did you prove it?
Most people think Bill Cipher is evil because he chose to be. That he's chaotic, cruel, and immoral simply because that's his nature. A demon who enjoys destruction for its own sake. And on the surface, that explanation works. But there's a problem with that idea. Because Bill Cipher doesn't behave like a normal demon. He laughs too loudly, talks too much, hates silence, order, and moral reflection. Those aren't just villain traits, they're coping mechanisms. You're not wrong to call Bill dangerous, or cruel, or responsible for everything he's done. But if you want to understand why he became this way, why chaos feels safer to him than order, then you need to look at Bill Cipher, not just as a demon, but as a being shaped by trauma. Bill came from somewhere, a place so alien that even trying to imagine it breaks the human mind. A world that shaped who Bill Cipher would become, and quietly explains why he is the way he is. Bill Cipher originates from a dimension known as Uklitian. It was a two-dimensional realm, a flat world inhabited by sentient geometric shapes, all confined to a single plane of existence. Its inhabitants could only perceive reality as a flat line of sight. According to Bill, he was beloved there. But Bill is not a reliable narrator. What's implied instead is that Bill despised living in Uklitian. Unlike everyone else, Bill was born with a rare mutation, the ability to perceive the third dimension, but no one else could understand what he meant. In a world where even discussing a third dimension was illegal, Bill became the only one aware that reality was larger than it appeared. Isolated, frustrated, and embittered, Bill began to believe his people were living in a lie, and he decided to free them. To show his world what they were missing, Bill planned a demonstration, a spectacle meant to reveal the third dimension to everyone at once. It failed. What we know from Bill's fragmented recounting is horrifying. Screams growing louder, blood everywhere, hands shaking as he realizes he can't undo what he's done. By the time the last inhabitant of Uklitian takes their final breath, Bill is left alone covered in blood, standing in the ruins of his entire dimension. Bill insists the plan worked, that he liberated his people. But the truth is simpler and darker. In trying to show Uklitian the third dimension, Bill accidentally destroyed everything. The event would later be known as the Uklitian massacre. Afterward, Bill fled into another dimension, the Nightmare Realm, and began his existence as the being we now know. It's easy to assume Bill Cipher became what he is because he was neglected, rejected by his own family. But that's not what the evidence shows. In fact, Bill Cipher's parents loved him, and that might make his story even darker. According to the Book of Bill, and this is not a website.com, Bill Cipher's parents were named Scalene and Euclid Red and Blue beings from Uklitian, both later destroyed when Bill attempted to liberate his dimension. They genuinely cared for him. More importantly, they tried to protect him. Bill's parents knew he was different. They gave him medication, not to harm him, but to reduce his visions of the third dimension. They weren't cruel, they were afraid. That context gives a completely new meaning to the lullaby, known as Rock-a-Bye Billy. Believed to be written by Bill's mother, Scalene, the song begins as a gentle reassurance. Please don't you cry. It's not your fault. You have that strange eye. Stay safe with mommy. You'll never fall, and we'll always love you. Sharp angles and all. This isn't mockery, it's comfort. The song tells Bill that he's loved because of who he is, not despite it. But the final line changes everything, and will always love. You murdered us all. That last sentence reframes the entire lullaby. It isn't a song sung before the Uklitian massacre. It's a song remembered after it. A reminder that Bill wasn't an unloved outcast. He was a child who was cared for, protected, and reassured, and still became the one who destroyed everything. Which makes Bill's story not one of abandonment, but of irreversible guilt. Bill Cipher says he destroyed Uklitian on purpose, that it was all part of the plan, that he meant to do it. But when Bill remembers that day, his story falls apart. When Bill recalls the destruction of Uklitian, his memory isn't clear. It's fragmented, distorted, and panicked. I came up with a plan to show everyone what they were missing. Simple. Their screams getting louder and louder as so much blood, so much mandibles my hands, shaking as I realized I could never undo was the last one breathing, until there was no one left but me, covered in blood, alone in the universe. This isn't the memory of a calculated villain. It's the memory of someone reliving trauma. Bill insists it was intentional, because admitting it wasn't would mean facing something far worse, that he made a catastrophic mistake he could never undo. And there are clues that Bill's version of events isn't the whole truth. The axolotl describes Bill this way: saw his own dimension burn, misses home and can't return, says he's happy, he's a liar, blame the arson for the fire. This isn't a portrait of someone proud of destruction. It's a portrait of someone who misses home, denies guilt, and rewrites the story to survive. Calling it intentional lets Bill stay in control. Calling it an accident would force him to feel remorse. So Bill chooses the lie that hurts less. Not because he's honest, but because truth would break him. Bill Cipher doesn't act the way demons usually do. He's too loud. He laughs too much. He hates silence, order, and moral rules. And that raises an important question. What if Bill's behavior isn't just evil, but trauma expressing itself? In human psychology, Bill Cipher's behavior fits remarkably well into a trauma-based coping model. After extreme, irreversible trauma, some individuals don't withdraw or shut down, they do the opposite. They become hyperactive, performative, and chaotic. Bill's constant laughter isn't joy, it's emotional flooding, a way to drown out intrusive memories. Chaos keeps him moving. If nothing has rules, nothing can be his fault. This is also why Bill despises morality, and remorse would force Bill to face what he did to Uklitian, so he rejects the entire concept. In trauma psychology, this is known as avoidant externalization, projecting pain outward by reshaping the world so it never turns inward. Bill laughs because silence is dangerous. He talks because stillness invites memory. He breaks reality because reality, left intact, would remind him of what he destroyed. Bill doesn't act this way because he's free. He acts this way because stopping would mean remembering. And that's everything for this video. Hope you liked it. Make sure to subscribe. I upload videos like this more in the future.